We talked to hundreds of people that live right where natural gas is being produced through fracking. And they are very upset, but not because fracking is hurting them. Quite the opposite. In their own words, shale gas is the best thing that has ever happened to them.
Well, that's a little taste of the movie Fracknation. I saw it the other day. I have to tell you, it's the best documentary I've ever seen in my life. I am not exaggerating. I love this movie. And so The Sun is going to have a special Canadian premiere of Fracknation on June 6th. So put it in your calendars. Joining us now from Los Angeles to talk about it is the filmmaker himself, Phelim McAleer. Phelim, you and I have talked on this show a half dozen times about fracking, the war against fracking, real people that we just saw there who love fracking. I am so excited that you chose us, the Sun News Network, to be your Canadian premiere.
Well, I couldn't have chosen anyone else. I mean, I think you guys have been very involved in trying to get the truth about fracking out there and trying to put a bit of science and a bit of rationality into this emotional subject and peeling back the misrepresentations and the frauds that have arisen about fracking. So I'm really excited and really happy that the Sun News Network are going to put Fracknation on June the 6th.
Well, tell our viewers, what caused you to make this film? I mean, there's 1,000 things a filmmaker like you could tackle. Why fracking?
Well, I'm a journalist and it's a great story. I mean, to be honest, what really happened was that the maker of Gasland, I did a little YouTube video about him showing how he had misrepresented the famous flaming faucet scene. And he got YouTube, his lawyers wrote to YouTube and got my video taken down. And I thought, this is very interesting. What's he trying to cover up? What's the real story here? You know, journalism is something that somebody somewhere doesn't want to be seen. So I thought, I'm going to make a documentary about this. You know, so there's that journalistic principle. It's also the fact that I'm from Ireland. No one tells me to shut up. I'm going to make a documentary about this. I'm going to shout this from the rooftops because it's a really good story here.
Well, it's not just a great story, but it is beautifully filmed. I mean, some of the places where fracking happens, it's so gorgeous. Now, I'm used to defending the oil sands, and some of the oil sands, they got to crack open the earth. It's an open pit mine. It is not pretty. Just the rolling, verdant countrysides where fracking happens, and you're looking around and say, well, where's all the fracking? Well, it's that tiny little thing there that people, work right next to. I mean, it is just visually, even if you turned the sound off, you would learn so much about what fracking is really like, isn't it?
Yeah, the big problem with making films about fracking is finding the fracking. It's so small, those gas wells, they're little places in the middle, behind bushes, behind trees.
It's like barely hills. Bigger than a fire hydrant, really. I mean, seriously, when it's done, it's that small.
Yeah, so what people like to show is the fracking happening, but that's like going to somebody building a house and filming it halfway as the house is being built and all the equipment around. That's not a gas well. The gas well is this little thing. It's no bigger than a couple of phone boxes put together, and so the big problem with fracking is finding the fracking. You don't notice it. It's buried in this beautiful Pennsylvania countryside. Pennsylvania tourism is on the up as fracking increases because there's more money there, there's more facilities. So if you want to, it has not affected the beauty of Pennsylvania or any of these places where fracking has occurred.
Now, I don't want to give away anything. Folks have to tune in for themselves, but I have to say, when I watched the movie, I mean, a documentary, you set out to tell a story, you plan it, but there were a couple of things that happened that you could not have planned that there was such drama. I don't want you to give too much away, but just tell the story of when you were standing on the country road near a woman who claimed that her water was poisoned by fracking. You were literally cell phoning her to try, and she just drove up by coincidence, and she threatened to pull a gun on you, and the whole thing was on. I couldn't believe. Tell me that story for 60 seconds.
Oh, it's like a script from a movie. She drives up, and see, you're not allowed to ask activists difficult questions now in this new world. I decided to treat her like everyone else that a journalist treats. Ask her difficult questions, ask her for the evidence. Her reaction is, I've got a gun, I am armed. She pulls out her permit, calls the cops, malicious 911 calls. As you say, we don't want to ruin the ending, but it's high drama, and I'm going, oh my God, and I'm actually standing there with my hands up.
I know, you backed away. Like, there's one thing to get a good take. It's another to be shot. I mean, I could not believe that. My heart was pounding, and it was, and there were a few scenes like that. It's a hell of a story, well told. Phelim, thanks for letting us be the folks to premiere in Canada. That's on June 6th, everybody. It is amazing. Phelim, we'll talk to you on June 6th, okay?
Thank you, Ezra. All the best.
See you later, my friend.